So have you ever wondered why people are able to get really and just insanely massive plants inside a grow a garden? Like for example, this beanstalk right here. This is not a lot bigger than a normal beanstalk. Because let me tell you, there's no sprinkler, no pet, no tool that's gonna guarantee this method. But in this method, I'll show you exactly how I've gotten both this plant this big and just in general, how you can get any plant just to be way bigger. But once again, do you see this big beanstalk, right? This was not just luck. This is actually based around a bit of a skill thing. And I even have like my other account, if you see me post update videos, right, all the time, I have a really big coconut tree. And then if you ever noticed a blueberry bush, they were like in testing of this around, when I have free time in the updates. But first off, I'm gonna be a bit upfront, right? A good part of this is gonna be a bit around luck, but there's a lot more to it. So do bigger plants really matter? First off, bigger plants don't actually grow more fruit. Just kidding, that's a lie. So that's actually a funny fake false news you've been told probably a while. So I actually made a video covering this. So it actually turns out the bigger plants do grow more, but this is really only in specifics to, as of all I know right now, the burning bud. Now, if you're wondering how I know this, so I have this burning bud, right? It's a bit bigger than the normal one, and it has 2 stemming off of it. And burning buds, I've seen some that are super long and really big, right? And they have like 15 growing off of them. Now, obviously, if you get some lucky pull like that, that's probably gonna be the best plant you can get in the game because already its base sale value is pretty decent because it's meant to be a single harvest plant. But then on top of that, you also have so many growing off of it, you can get a really big one way easier. So once again, yes, you've probably seen a lot of people say, oh, the big plant's just cosmetic. That's a lie. It's big plants look cool, yes. But if it's, for example, a burning bud, and I do believe there is one more, it actually does benefit you to have it way bigger, and the bigger the better. So another question is, do sprinklers help with growing the plant size? So no, technically. So really, they don't. But so for this, for example, the basic, advanced, godly, and the master, they affect fruit size and fruit, all that. They don't affect the plant. So now what plant should you try to make big? So obviously they're all, even though if you go in public servers all the time, you do start to commonly and frequently see people with really, really big plants. And here are the 3 plants you should note that are going to be the easiest to get big. So firstly, the easiest is most likely going to be the beanstalk. I don't know the percentage rate like I do the other ones, but the beanstalk is going to be the easiest by far, as you see, just to get it a bit bigger than average, or, every now and then it gets really big, which is just one, tiny little thing to note. Secondly, the coconut. So the coconut, I think it has like around a 1.4% chance to just be bigger. So obviously, for me, I have 106 of these, so at least one of them would be really big. But obviously, it's not just like, it'll be massive, right? But there's a chance it can grow bigger than the normal one at a decent rate. And then the rest of that's just purely down to pets and all that, if you can use pets to benefit size. And additionally, one that has been circulating around is going to be the bone blossom. So I have one friend, he has a really big bone blossom. It's not like, in size to like the base size of a normal one to how big his is. It's not like, for example, my beanstalk big, but nonetheless, it is still a very big plant. Now, another thing to note is you can use something like the reclaimer method. So usually, right, the bigger the plant is, it takes like longer for it to grow. So if you have enough watering cans, so you can use a basic macro system. So as you see, I have like 5,800. I used to have like literally 20,000 until I tried to get a really big plant one time and it did nothing. And, stem really to nothing, but you can just AFK buy stuff. I should have at the end of this video a good macro video you can check out. So what you should use is the reclaimer method. So for example, I don't have any on me because I used them all when I cleared out this plot. The reclaimer method is going to be, in general, used just once again to reclaim stuff. It's really efficient, I would say, to recycle rarer seeds. So like, for example, my friend, right, he reclaimed all of his bone blossoms and then only one was really big, but he had to use like 20 something reclaimers because he got a bunch of them through some duping glitch. But also, quick thing to note, as you see, this thing's in stock and I'm able to see that because, our Grow a Garden stock notifier. So make sure you join our Discord server. I saw this notification just pop up. So join that. You can get notified on tools, seed, gear, and eggs. And it's really helpful, especially if you don't want to stay on consistently. But additionally, so with the reclaimer, you can use that once again to just recycle rare seeds. Additionally, once again, so these are 3 pets you should use. So the hamster boosts crafting speed every 3 minutes. So if you stack enough of these, you can craft reclaimers way faster. Not even gonna try to say this name. Hold on, actually, let me try. Nope, never mind. Okay, this one, I'll probably, you know, pop it open real fast because I don't believe I have this pet because I probably deleted it because I was like, dang, this thing sucks. Yeah. If you can't tell me, if you tell me, like you look at me and you say you can pronounce this word, you're lying. So, as you see though, 28% chance from the primal egg grants a 6% chance to duplicate a crafted item. Really good. It's really good, really overpowered, right? So specifically for that. And then squirrels have a small chance to make it when you use gear for it not to be used. So obviously if you stack those when you're using the reclaimers, if it is a limited item for you, I would recommend doing that. But once again, pretty much covering all of that. But if you stack all these pets around just to crafting and those tools specifically, you can get way better value. And then additionally, once again, so the reclaimer is pretty decent, but you want to make sure that you are using good value out of it. So for example, right, I have like 30 or 40 beanstalk seeds. And for example, right, I want to keep 30 or 40. I could like potentially, you know, delete a beanstalk, right? But once again, that'd be a bit dumb. So say for example, it's like a spiked mango, right? I'm trying to clear out a plot for some grinding strat, right? Instead of deleting this, I'm gonna use a recaller on it. But then for example, if it's a serenity plant, these are so common, I might as well just, you know, sit and delete them. But once again, so final tips, I would recommend, so fully grown plants are only, you know, the ones you can reclaim. You can't reclaim, you know, while they're growing. But once again, once it has fully grown, use your best seeds for this. So once again, if you're just looking to have a really big one, I'd recommend using the coconut tree because they do seem to commonly be really big or just big in general. And then once again, if you want to cycle the method, just reclaim it whenever you're like, okay, this is not good. Use a ton of watering cans and then just plant the seed back down and recycle through this. And then if you're wanting to, if you can AFK, check out this video that should be popping up right now, which is an overpowered macro system you can use to AFK. We are close to launching our own macro, but anyways, this video helped you out. I will see you on the next one.